On a mostly cloudy but comfortable late summer Saturday, it is Happy New Year for Wagner College football. As today the Seahawks kick off the 2024 season against the Dragons from Virginia University of Lynchburg. And we welcome you to Hamline Field, atop Grimes Hill here on Staten Island, as the Seahawks get set for the first game in their fifth season under Wagner alum Tom Masella. I'm Mark Renee alongside Jeff Leniart, and Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, Mark.
As we get set to kick things off, a lot of familiar faces back in the home green, including today's starting quarterback Damian Maisel, of course the freshman phenom a year ago at receiver. Jalen Benelli is back. You've also got Ricky Sproul at running back, Mark Didio at wide receiver as well. Chase Stafford, the tight end. The front line on the offensive side, again, a lot of familiar faces. Brady Anderson, chief among them. Newcomer Brandon Snee, junior transfer, will anchor the left side of the line. And there was a lot of excitement as we get set to kick things off.
Yes, Mark, and when you speak about experience and a lot of players coming back, it all starts with the defense for Wagner. 10 players with great experience, juniors or older, and then you got Zachary Ricky and Logan Barnes. Those two players are sophomores, but they play like veterans. Ricky, an outstanding year last year as a freshman, and Wagner feels like they're loaded on defense. And as you mentioned, a couple of standouts on offense with Jalen Benelli and, of course, Ricky Sproul, one of the 600-yard rushers last year for the Seahawks.
The captains for the season, Jalen Justice, the inside linebacker wearing number 6, Justin Riley, the Sam linebacker wearing 45, Brady Anderson, the right tackle, is 71, and the captain for today as well is the aforementioned tight end Chase Stafford, now a graduate student from South Jersey, as Virginia U of Lynchburg, for the rest of the day we'll call them Lynchburg, comes out for the coin toss. They've got a couple of number ones in Jacob Newman and Mark White. Also, Ricari Daly is number 4. And then 74 is Xander Smith, one of their offensive linemen. Seahawks last year went 4-7. They were 3-4 in the NEC, finished 6th, and that is where the preseason poll in the Northeast Conference has them finishing in 2024. Duquesne, the defending champion, is the preseason number 1 in the league. The Seahawks won't see them until just before Thanksgiving. Coin toss is up, and the Seahawks have won. Let's see what they decide to do as we hear from our referee. Seahawks will receive the opening kickoff. So, Jeff, they're going to go on offense and roll out their big weapons right off the jump.
Safe to say, Wagner feeling pretty confident. They're raring to go. Mark and I, both of us, of course, at the practice this week, and Coach Masella said these guys are ready to go. They wanted to play about a week ago. So they'll get it started today, and they want the ball first. And heavy favorites against this Division III school, Lynchburg, out of Virginia.
Yeah, the Dragons 2-9 last year. They play in the NCCAA, the National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association. They have 76 players on their roster. 45 are freshmen. And so far as we can tell, only 3 players on this year's squad were part of the team last year. For their head coach, who's also their offensive coordinator and athletic director, that's Tim Newman, who was actually signed by the Jets back in 1986 as an undrafted free agent. He was one of the replacement players during the NFL strike of 1987. Back deep, 0 Sekou Kamau, and 2 Sam Martin to receive the opening kick, which will come from Lynchburg's Ryan Pettit, who is also their punter. And here we go on Grimes Hill. Seahawks were 3-2 at home last year. They won 2 of their last 3 and the home opener. Of course, wrapping up last year against Post University from Connecticut. And Jeff, here we go. Pettit approaches, kicks it off from the 35, end over end. It's going to come down short on a bounce, fielded by Martin. And Sam takes it across the 40, out near midfield. Nice return for Sam Martin, and a heck of a way, pardon the pun, to kick off 2024.
Great job by Martin on that read there, and just quickly gathers it, gets across midfield, and already Wagner is in Lynchburg territory to start this game.
So here comes the Seahawks offense, led out by the junior quarterback Damian Maisel. 24 of 47 a year ago for 195 yards, backing up Steve Krajewski. Joined in the backfield by Ricky Spruill. Brady Anderson starting at center. That's a late change. Mateo Lucero had to be scratched today. And here is the first play from scrimmage. Maisel wide open. He's got Didio all alone at the 20. And Mark Didio inside the 10, inside the 5. And he's got just shy of a Wagner touchdown. Taken down inside the 1.
Mark. Damian Maisel, and Coach Masella talked about him earlier this week. We know he's very athletic, but Coach Maisel was just raving about his arm as well, and he shows it there. Big connection to Didio. 2 big plays to start this game.
Didn't even have a chance to set the offensive line for you. Prince Gaitan is the left tackle. Anderson the center. Maisel out of the shotgun. And the play clock expires. A little confusion in the Wagner offense. And so they'll be called for a delay of game. That'll back it up to just outside the 5.
A wide open Didio on that connection from Maisel.
Officially 47 yards. The other receivers, Malik Cooper, 16. Didio on the far side. Here's the handoff for Spruill, and Ricky Spruill has pay dirt. It's a Wagner touchdown on their second play from scrimmage. And the Seahawks have a 6-0 lead.
And Ricky Spruill had 3 touchdowns last year, has his first here just a little over a minute into this game. A 6-0 Wagner lead after a big kick return. Got them into Lynchburg territory, and the big pass connection from Maisel to Didio, and then Spruill, the senior out of Notre Dame High School, puts the Seahawks on the board.
Ryan Lisner a year ago was 18 of 22 on PATs. The holder this year, Vince Cajano. Backup receiver out of Brooklyn. Snap good, spot good, kick good. And it's 7-0 Seahawks. Just a minute and 16 seconds in. And remember, Jeff, this is a Wagner team that last season had no first quarter touchdowns until the finale against Post.
Yeah, they struggled, as you mentioned, Mark, in the early going. Had some nice comeback wins, but they struggled getting on the board, and obviously here, going right at it. Winning the toss, taking possession, good return on the opening kickoff, and then the connection from Maisel to Didio, setting up the Spruill touchdown.
So that is effectively a two-play, 48-yard drive. Lisner will kick off. Back deep, expected to be Ryan Sims and Ricari Daly for Lynchburg. I do see Daly wearing 4. But on the far side, and that is who fields the boot. It's 17, Dustin Placidy, and he breaks a big one to the 25 with a flag coming in late. We'll see what the call is here. It might have been a late hit on the Seahawks, Jeff.
Nice job by Placide to break a couple of tackles there to get a nice gain out of it. And here's the call. Personal foul against Lynchburg.
So some extracurriculars on the Dragons. That'll back them up.
So the extra effort goes for naught for Placide on that return.
So they're backed up to the 16-yard line. Quarterback for Lynchburg is Matthew Jenks. Jacob Newman joins him in the backfield, and a whistle here.
And Jenks looking at a veteran Wagner defense.
Yeah, up front, Jarrell Liverpool is number 5. Najee Hollenbeck is number 97. 44, Nick Gadsden. Big number 3, Logan Barnes, the transfer from Monmouth, from right here on Staten Island. Younger brother of former Seahawks quarterback, receiver, and now assistant coach Quincy Guy Barnes. So now it's backed up to the 11. See, they hadn't spotted off the penalty.
Not the start Lynchburg
correctly
wanted after falling behind 7-0.
Throw across the middle, and the pass hauled in. Tackle on the play by Zachary Rickey, the sophomore from South Jersey.
Sims on the catch for Lynchburg, transfer out of Western Carolina.
Jalen Justice, one of the linebackers for the Seahawks. Justin Smith and Sam Martin, the defensive backs. Justin Riley. As Jordan Johnson, number 13, creeps in. And that'll be shy of the first down by about 2 yards.
Big third down coming up.
Look like Jacob Newman, transfer from Johnson C. Smith College. Lynchburg last year just 9 of 46 on third down conversions. Seahawks held opponents to 38% in 2023. Pass to an open receiver. That's Ricari Daly, and he's got first down yardage for Lynchburg.
Nice play there, Jenks to Daly. They pick up the first down through the air on a 3rd and short, so they'll move the chains. Wagner was 38% on defense last year on third downs.
Sets up a 1st and 10 at the Dragons' 27. Coming to the near side, Micah Gant, wearing number 9 in the white. Riley Dravitt Transfer from Drake at the corner near side for the Seahawks. And that's going to be a tackle for loss. A whole slew of Wagner Seahawks on the play as Sims gets stacked up. Zach Rickey in on the play. Justin Smith there as well.
Rickey, who had that pick six last year, a freshman who played like a veteran all season long. And they've got Rickey and Barnes, two sophomores, along with a host of junior players and older to lead that defense that Coach Masella is very excited about.
Defensive coordinator this year is Derek Getchell, who's also coaching the defensive line. Remember, Masella was his own DC last year. Getchell earned the promotion. Coming in motion is Sims. And the screen to him, he gets laid out. That was Nick Gadsden, senior from the Bronx, who read it like a big picture book.
6'2", 225, and he laid it out all there. Great play by Gadsden. It's going to be 3rd and 17.
5 minutes in here on Grimes Hill. Seahawks scored just 76 seconds in. A tremendous opening kick return by Sam Martin took it into Lynchburg territory. First play from scrimmage, a 47-yard hookup from Maisel to Didio. And timeout called by Lynchburg, their first timeout of the day. We can tell you that last year, Damian Maisel's longest pass play was 27 yards, Jeff. So already on his first pass of the season, he nearly doubled that.
Well, Coach Masella, again, he was raving about his quarterback as we had the discussion earlier in the week. Coach Masella in his office, and he showed it right there on that first play from scrimmage on a beautiful pass to Didio that got Wagner an early 1st and goal just on the first play from scrimmage of the game.
After the timeout, 3rd and 17 for the Dragons.
Third and long. Here comes Gadsden, little shovel there.
And that play gets snuffed out by Jarrell Liverpool. Newman had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Gadsden put the pressure on, and Liverpool read it well, and that 3rd and long goes nowhere. So Wagner D coming up big.
So 1 first down allowed, but then the Seahawks get the job done. Pettit back to punt. Kick is away, end over end. And back to receive it, Jeremiah Colclaw. A little shake and bake, but he gets tackled at around the 44-yard line. So the Seahawks will take over again in excellent field position. They were at the Lynchburg 48 first drive. They start at their own 44, so tremendous field position to start their first 2 possessions.
And, of course, Sam Martin had the big kick return to set up the Wagner touchdown on their first drive. And this time Wagner allowing 1 first down for Lynchburg, then the stop. And now great field position as they start.
Maisel out of the gun with Sproul alongside. Rickey on the handoff up the middle. Bounces off of one tackler, now coming near side. And he's taken down after a gain of about 2. Dwayne Harris on the tackle for Lynchburg. A nice job by Rickey, though, making something out of nothing. He was snuffed out right into the line. Able to keep the feet moving.
Sproul with the early touchdown. He had 3 last year. Of course, rushed for over 600 yards in 2023. Looking for another big year behind this offensive line.
It's Sproul again. And plenty of room for Rickey to rumble as he takes it to the 25 before Kendrick Cox finally took him down.
The 5'10", 205-pound senior out of Notre Dame High School, making it look easy. Preseason All-NEC by Phil Steele magazine. His long run of the year last year, 43 yards for a touchdown. And a nice run there to get Wagner deeper into Lynchburg territory.
Didio to the far side, Malik Cooper on the near side, right at the numbers, as the Seahawks have 1st and 10. And 2 tight ends in motion, Umansky and Stafford. That's going to be an illegal procedure call on Wagner. And so they will back it up 5 yards.
You always wonder what you're going to get in the first game, Mark, in terms of penalties and maybe a little miscommunication. First game of the season. Wagner, the home opener. And they'll have 4 of the next 5 on the road after this game here against Lynchburg.
So 1st and 15 from the 30. Pass inside on the slant. And it's Didio taken down around the 25.
Nice play option over the middle.
Oh, beg your pardon. It was Terry McDonald. My mistake. Can't read my own writing. So they get it to the 20. Gain of 10. Sets up 2nd and 5. Now Cooper out wide with Didio and McDonald near side. Didio on the hash marks. And Maisel back to pass. He's got Sproul, but he overthrows Ricky in the flat. And it brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, a little too much mustard on it for Maisel there after a nice connection prior to that on the play option.
So again, just to reset the offensive line, starting things out, left tackle Brandon Snee, wearing number 70. Tyson Foster, the left guard, is 53. Brady Anderson, the right tackle, is stepping in at center for Mateo Lucero. Malik Wilson, the backup center, is at right tackle, and Kevin Singer, 75, the right guard.
Got the 2 Albany transfers on that line.
Maisel finds Didio, and Mark, as he hits the turf, lost the ball, but they're going to say incomplete. So it's going to be 4th down and 5 for the Seahawks, and let's see what they want to do here. Didio says, I caught it, and it came out when I hit the ground, but I think he didn't complete the catch. And so the Seahawks send out the field goal unit. Ryan Lisner, a year ago, was 5 out of 10. A long of 44. This will be 38 yards out of the hold from Kahano. And a timeout, Wagner, as the play clock, Jeff, was about to run out again.
Yes, some of the things in the opener, right, on the physical side, you worry about cramps, although it feels pretty cool here with the breeze. And in the low 80s temperature for this afternoon.
76 as we started.
Mental side, you're going to have those kind of things. Penalties and a little miscommunication.
And now,
Lisner's long last year, 44 yards. This one's going to be 38.
Nope, they're actually putting the offense back on the field. Tomasella and company had a couple of seconds to think about it, and they said, you know what? Let's go for it. And Maisel will be under center. Jalen Benelli making his first appearance of the season. He'll be the wideout on the near side. McDonald, Didio, and tight end Chase Stafford all on the left in a tight formation here on 4th and 5.
Didio in motion right.
Maisel's got all day, throws, and he's got Benelli. Jalen Benelli picking up where he left off last year. Touchdown, Wagner on a 4th and 5. The Seahawks extend the lead to 13-0 with 6 2.5 minutes left, opening quarter.
That's what you call productivity, Mark. Step into the game, catch a pass, run it into the end zone for pay dirt. Jalen Benelli, 4 touchdowns last year, has his first there. And Wagner with their second touchdown of the game.
Lisner out for the PAT. Again, it's Kahano to hold. Out of the snap from Taikina. Kick is up. Kick is good. And the Seahawks make it 2 for 2 on offensive drives here in 2024. It's a touchdown pass from Damian Maisel to Jalen Benelli. And the Seahawks have opened up a 14-0 first quarter lead.
Nice change there to go from the field goal attempt to go for it. Pays off, and Wagner with a 2-touchdown lead.
Seahawks on 4th down a year ago, 13 of 21. 1 for 1 with an exclamation point. 20-yard touchdown pass.
Seahawks having their way offensively. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
That was a 56-yard drive. Lisner will kick it off to Placide and Sims. Good kick, end over end. It'll come down inside the 10 to Placide, who had a nice return his first time, and he goes far side for this one and is shoved out of bounds right around the 23-yard line.
So another chance for Lynchburg, down by 2 touchdowns. Wagner with that big offensive line really having their way in the first 2 possessions. And now Lynchburg will try to get some traction going here on the offensive side. Penalty hurt them on their last possession.
Lynchburg only played 1 home game last year. That was a win over Fort Lauderdale. They actually had a 2-game winning streak, but they lost their first 6 and final 3. They wound up 2-9. And a whistle blows before we get the first play of this drive underway, and it may be a delay of game with a play clock expired. Well, you don't see that every day. Both teams called for delay of games before they can get an early play off. Seahawks had it happen after the big gainer on their first play from scrimmage down to the 1-yard line, and now Lynchburg starting out the drive. Can't get in sync. Jenks, the quarterback, out of the gun. Sims in motion. And the snap gets right past the quarterback, who's going to fall on it in the end zone for a Wagner safety. Just 9 seconds after the touchdown, they pick up 2 more points, and it's 16-0 Seahawks, who will get the ball back after the free kick.
16-0 Wagner lead, and Lynchburg on the rushing side is averaging 44 yards a game last year, and that's not going to cut it. They really got to get the ground game going. And they're the safety for Wagner. Gatson tackling the quarterback, Jenks. So 2 touchdowns. Sproul starting it off for Wagner, and here the safety in the end zone. And you wondered how it was going to roll game 1. Looked like a bit of mismatch coming in, and so far it has been all Wagner having their way on the offensive side, and now defensively they're starting to show their power against Lynchburg too. 16-0 hole, and still 6:21 remaining in the first quarter. This Lynchburg offense averaged 15 points a game last year.
Kamau and Martin back deep to receive the free kick from Pettit, who will use a tee from his own 25. The wind when we started the game was blowing right to left, which would mean at Lynchburg's back, but it seems to have shifted, and it's actually blowing in toward the press box and the bleachers here at Hamline Field. Essentially right to left on Lynchburg as they move from right to left. So here comes the free kick. It'll be taken by Sam Martin, third return of the day. And he's got good yardage again, out to around the 42 or 43. So the Seahawks in excellent field position for their third possession, which we've got coming up here on NEC Front Row.
What starts at Wagner?
Pursuing my dreams.
Getting to do what I love.
Lifelong friendships. The ability to thrive.
You'll be part of a supportive community that will help you find your path while exploring all that New York City has to offer.
What starts at Wagner
Can lead you here.
Can lead you here.
can lead you here.
Drive number 3 for the Seahawks. Damian Maisel out of the gun, and another whistle blows. It's going to be a delay of game on the Seahawks for the second time in this quarter. It's whatever the opposite of anything you can do, I can do better, Jeff, because Lynchburg got called for delay of game before their first play last drive. The Seahawks have now returned the favor.
3 delay of games and just a little over halfway through. But the first game of the season, and we're still in August.
Cole Claw and Christian Tate, the receivers near side, as Maisel goes far side. Benelli on the slant, and he's got it across midfield for a pickup of about 9 to the Dragons' 48.
2 plays, 2 catches for Benelli, the NEC Rookie of the Year in 2023.
Well, he is by far, going into this season, expected to be the Seahawks' number 1 offensive weapon.
No doubt.
Sproul, the single setback behind Maisel. Benelli out to the far side, and again it's Coldclaw and Tate to the near. Pass again for Benelli, catches it in stride, and Jalen Benelli inside the 10 with another huge Wagner pickup.
Great touch by Maisel, and that's passed down the sideline to Benelli. He knows he's got the athletic star there to catch it, floats it up there, and Benelli with the catch and the yards after the catch. He had 40 catches for 627 yards last year, and he shows that speed. Another 1st and goal for Wagner.
They mark it at the 4, and again it's Benelli on the outside. Coldclaw and Tate, the near side receivers. Sproul to the left of Maisel, who takes the shotgun snap. Damian's got all day, now under pressure. He gets tripped up in the backfield. That was Jeremy Butler, the safety, coming up with the first sack of the season for Lynchburg.
Big play by Butler against the athletic Maisel, able to chase him down. Wagner scored on both of their possessions. Trying to go 3 for 3 here.
Second and goal. Let's try again. Far side. That's Christian Tate. And the pass too far to Tate in traffic. Another one of Staten Island's own, Christian Tate. Grad transfer from Bucknell, who a year ago had 15 catches for 211 yards and a couple of TDs for the Bison. He's on the far side. Kolklaw at the hash marks. And Benelli on the near side as Maisel drops back on 3rd and goal, looking for Benelli, and he overshoots him in the near corner of the end zone. And so the Seahawks now will bring out the field goal unit.
Well covered by Lynchburg. It was Butler who set up or got the momentum going for the defense for the Dragons with that sack. And that was well played there defensively in the corner. Nothing but white shirts.
Gahada will put it down at the 21, so it's a 31-yard try for Lisner. Snap good, spot down, kick from Lisner right through the uprights, and the Wagner lead now 19-0 on the 31-yard Figgy by Lisner. And so with 4:18 to play in this opening quarter, the Seahawks make it a 19-0 lead, and they'll kick off when we come back on NEC Front Row.
Seahawks 3 for 3 on offensive drives, plus a safety. 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and the safety. All Wagner so far, Mark.
They have scored on all 3 drives. Damian Maisel, 5 of 9 for 135 yards. He's got a quarterback rating of over 218.
He's showing he's got that arm, Mark, too. We knew he could run. We knew he's athletic. He is really showing that he's...
Placide couldn't handle the snap, picks it up inside the 5, and he's going to get gang tackled at around the 15-yard line.
Just the opposite. Wagner getting great field position so far in this game, and Lynchburg struggling to get any kind of field position and any kind of movement.
Flag on the far side at around the 24-yard line. Let's see how they sort this out. And the word from our referee is a block in the back on Lynchburg. So they'll be pushed farther back and have to start inside the 10. Officially the 8-yard line. And Matthew Jenks still in at quarterback. He's 4 for 4 for just 12 yards. Going to the far side, missed his receiver. Was trying to find...
The freshman's got a tall task. Freshman out of Centerville, Virginia, Matthew Jenks against a veteran Wagner defense.
Was trying to find Nelson Tensley, who was covered by Zach Rickey on that far side. Tensley, one of the 46 freshmen, 45 freshmen, I should say, on this 76 Dragon roster. Now to the near side, and immediately in on the hit is Jaden Brown, the backup corner.
Jaden Brown out of Sicklerville, New Jersey. 30 tackles last year, including an interception.
Also broke up 3 passes. It's a 3rd and 5, Lynchburg from their own 13. Pocket collapses. It's a wounded duck, and somehow still caught by Ryan Sims for first down yardage.
Lucky break there for Lynchburg. That, you called it a wounded duck, Mark. That Jenks very fortunate that that did not get picked off. And Sims had his man beat. But the throw, not a good one.
And unfortunately for the Seahawks, the two defenders couldn't coordinate. They basically canceled each other out. So it's a first down, Lynchburg at their own 43. Jenks back to pass, and again under pressure, running for his life, trying to elude Barnes, and he does to the far side, and then he'll take it out of bounds. Finally knocked out by Juvenson Romulus, the sophomore from Hyde Park, Massachusetts.
Great coverage by the Wagner secondary. Jenks, the pocket collapse. He's rolling right, looking for some help, and great coverage by the defensive backs for Wagner, and there was nothing there. That's all Jenks could do.
And Romulus should get credit for the sack. Would be the first of his career. Second and 16 for the Dragons. Seahawks with a three-man front. Liverpool bringing the pressure. Now and a first down pass as Sims is able to help his quarterback Jenks escape another tackle for loss. Sam Martin had a chance to bring down Jenks.
Yeah, Wagner's applied some good pressure, Mark, to that Lynchburg line, putting the pressure on Jenks, but Lynchburg now has its best field possession of the game.
Their first foray into Seahawks territory, and the handoff instantly snuffed out. Sam Okeo came from nowhere and virtually KO'd that Dragons running back.
6 foot, 230-pound junior Okeo with the stop.
Oh, it's a loss of 5 back to the midfield stripe. As we enter the final minute of this first quarter, it's been all Wagner. 2 touchdowns, a safety, and a field goal for a 19-0 lead. Jenks back to pass. He's got time. Dumps it off to Sims, who won't quite get back to the original line of scrimmage, although maybe they'll say forward progress did get him back to the 50. Either way, it's going to be 3rd and 15, and that probably will be the final play of the opening quarter.
Jenks continuing to see that pressure, pocket collapsing, and the Wagner defense really putting the clamps down. The safety valve has been Sims, but as you mentioned, Mark, just barely getting back to the line of scrimmage with that little dump-off pass.
And that will do it for the opening quarter. There were still 17 seconds on the play clock. A first quarter that was all Wagner Seahawks here on Grimes Hill. 19-0 is the lead, and we've got quarter number 2 getting underway when we come back here on NEC Front Row.
Northeast Conference Volleyball Champions.
It's a day for the Knights as FDU wins it.
Merrimack Warriors are your 2023 men's basketball champions.
Lofted far down the left field line. It is gone. A 3-run homer.
Chambers in lane 5 runs away with it. The Sacred Heart Pioneers are Northeast Conference women's basketball champions.
We are excited beyond belief to welcome the Lemoyne Dolphins into the NEC family.
Always with her head on a swivel. Sullivan, that is filthy.
St. Francis, they win.
Marker day, Jeff Leniard as we get set to start the second quarter. And this is one of my favorite things about football when you change sides one quarter to the next. they had to go literally 6 inches from one side of the 50-yard marker to the other. Lynchburg 2 of 3 on third down conversions. It's 3rd and 15. Jenks back to pass. Splits the offense, and he dumps it off. First down yardage for Ricari Daly inside the 30-yard line. It's a pickup of about 21.
Nice play by Jenks. Jenks showing some athletic ability and then finding Daly, another freshman.
He's 9 of 10 now for 86 yards. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. That's Tinsley on the numbers right in front of us.
Best field position of the game for Lynchburg.
Jenks into the flat. Finds Sela Cephas. He's one of the 3 returners from last year for the Dragons. Pickup of only about 2.
That's an exclusive club.
Second and 8 from the Seahawks 27. As the sun is out for the first time today. Jenks back to pass, looking deep over Ricky, and Zach very fortunate to get away without being called for interference in the end zone.
Pressure was coming from Armani Utetu, a sophomore out of Texas who had 10 tackles last year. He was coming hard for Jenks.
And Tim Newman, the Lynchburg head coach, apoplectic on the far sideline, was looking for a penalty in the end zone. And I'll be honest, Jeff, probably should have gotten a flag there. Zach Ricky was all over the receiver.
Thought indeed we were going to see some laundry on that play.
3rd and 8, another mishandled snap. This time Jenks hauls it in under pressure from Barnes. And this time we will get flags thrown. Justin Riley with the infraction. That'll be interference and an automatic first down.
So the penalty against Wagner, but before that, Mark, seems like on every play, it's just heavy pursuit by Wagner. That time it was Logan Barnes, but the pass interference.
Well, they probably got away with one in the end zone, but this time Riley was way too obvious, making contact before the ball arrived. And so 1st and 10 from the Seahawks 13.
Lynchburg last year only got into the red zone 9 times. There were 6 of 9 in 2023.
Jenks looking far side. He's got a receiver in the end zone. It's a touchdown for Lynchburg. And the Dragons are on the board.
Nice throw by Jenks.
Riley.
The field, left corner of the end zone.
Micah Gant on the reception. Redshirt sophomore, transferred from Robert Morris, which is back in the NEC for football. It was Riley Dravitt, the Drake transfer, beaten on the coverage. And Pettit out for the extra point. Out of the hold of Dante Strickland. It doinks off the upright. No good. But there is a flag down. So we'll see. Maybe Lynchburg gets a second chance here, depending on who the infraction's against. Running into the kicker. And so that's going to put the ball at the 1-yard line. And surprisingly, Jeff, they keep Pettit out for the PAT.
Yeah, thought they'd go for the 2. Second chance for Lynchburg after hitting up the right upright. Right crossbar, I should say.
Kick is up this time and through. So the PAT good from Pettit. Cuts the Wagner lead to 19-7 with 13:22 to play. Second quarter. Dragons will kick it off when we come back on NEC Front Row.
This is nationwide. The NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Wagner's first 2 possessions of 2024, 2 plays, 48 yards, capped by a Ricky Spruill 6-yard run. 6 plays, 56 yards. Damian Maisel going 20 yards on 4th down to Jalen Benelli for a score. A safety on a bad snap over the head of Lynchburg's quarterback. And then a Ryan Lisner 31-yard field goal, 19-0 after 1 quarter. But here early second, Jeff, it's Lynchburg on the board. 13-yard touchdown pass from Matt Jenks to Micah Gant.
Yeah, Matthew Jenks showing the arm, and Lynchburg taking advantage of a couple of Wagner penalties, and they get on the board.
Jenks up to 11 of 14 now, 101 yards. Kickoff from Pettit. And it's fielded by Colclaw, who's ahead of the 30, out to around the 33, but a flag thrown right at midfield and around the 25-yard line. Make it the 27. That's going to be a block in the back in all likelihood, and back up the Wagner Seahawks.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of some great field position up until now, but now with the penalty.
Yep, they called it a hold. It's a hold, not a block in the back. Either way, Seahawks will have, quote-unquote, their worst field position to start a drive, as they will walk it back to the 11 or 12.
And Wagner had its way so far. That offensive line with Wagner, 320, 300, 340, 290, 295 against a much lighter Lynchburg team. And so far, the Seahawks have just ran down the field. So let's see what happens here.
The backup quarterback, Jake Cady, is in for the Seahawks. And one of the Lynchburg Dragons lost his helmet as the play goes out to the 19-yard line. So Cady, the grad transfer from St. Johnsbury, Vermont, we knew we would see him today. We weren't sure how soon. Umansky goes in motion. Handoff to Kamau, and Sekou right around first down yardage on the far sideline.
Nice run by the sophomore out of Long Branch High School. Only had 4 runs from scrimmage last year, so 6 foot 180, Sekou Kamau.
And he does have a Seahawks first down at the Wagner 29. Terry McDonald on the near side, right along the hash marks. Umansky, the tight end, in motion. And the handoff to Kamau. Sekou Kamau breaking tackles, and he's got daylight on the near sideline before he's finally taken out by Mark White.
Great spin move there at midfield. cuts to the sideline, and Kamau showing that athletic ability. And another first down. Kamau back-to-back first downs for the Seahawks.
Well, the longest run of his freshman year was all of 2 yards, which he had on his first carry. But now this one goes 33 to the Lynchburg 38. Stafford in motion. Another handoff inside for Kamau, and he gets inside the 35 before he's tripped up by Jeremy Butler.
Seahawks coming in very confident about their defense, but they're also very confident about their offensive line. And
McDonald and Umansky go to the far side. Jalen Benelli right in front of us on the near side numbers. Katie, another handoff to Kamau. Bounces off a one tackler, takes it inside the 30, still churning the legs, looking for the first down marker. He's going to be very close. And maybe the second and third effort get Kamau ahead of the marker for another first down. Let's see where they spot it.
This is a Lynchburg team that gave up 231 yards rushing last year. 231.
So it is 1st and 10 at the Lynchburg 28. Umansky in motion. Now stops on the right side of the line. First pass from Katie going across the middle, intended for Terry McDonald, who could not make the catch.
Wagner with a lot of weapons. Benelli, McDonald, Didio, Cooper. Also brought in Christian Tate out of Bucknell. See Derek Burrell make some action as well. So
Katie last year at Assumption College, 110 completions and 172 tries, threw for over 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. Also ran for 3 scores. 2nd and 10, Katie going long, and Benelli got knocked down right around the 10-yard line. That pass was intended for him in the end zone, but he wasn't even close to getting there, Jeff.
Benelli looking for a flag there, thought he got tripped up.
Well, they rule incidental contact. Derek Burrell, 19 in the green, makes his first appearance as he comes in for Umansky.
Third down chance here for Katie.
Seahawks are 0 for 2 on 3rd down today, but they are 1 of 1 on 4th down. 3 receivers to the near side, including Stafford, the tight end. McDonald on the numbers. Here's Katie looking long for Benelli in the end zone. Touchdown, Wagner.
Well, they made it look easy, Mark. Katie to Benelli, right side. Like they've been doing it for a while.
A 28, or I should say a 20-yarder in the first quarter. 28 yards here on 3rd and 10. And the Wagner lead extends to 25-7. With still more than 10 minutes left until halftime. Kahano will hold for Lisner. And Ryan. And so Ryan Lisner now 3 for 4, and the Seahawks lead 32-7 with 7:24 to go till halftime.
Yeah, Kamau's having an outstanding game and didn't get a lot of a chance last year, right? You got 2 600-yard rushers with Zachary Palmer-Smith and Ricky Spruill. He's getting his chance today, opening day, and he's shown his team and the fans here he's got some outstanding skills.
So Katie now 3 for 5, 69 yards. He and Maisel have combined to go 8 for 14 for 204 and 3 touchdowns. Kamau, 5 carries, 55 yards. The 1 catch for the 4-yard TD. Ricky Sproul, 3 carries, 37 yards in the early going. So the Seahawks at 287 total yards of offense. And we've still got 7 minutes and change left in the quarter. Well, the sun has burned off most of the clouds here on Staten Island. Wind is blowing in from the far side, the Lynchburg sidelines, toward the Seahawks sidelines. Lights have been on here at Hamline Field since well before kickoff. Lisner's kick, another deep one. It'll sail over the head of Adravian Harness for another touchback. Lisner with his second straight touchback.
Wagner up 32-7, 7:24 remaining.
Matt Jenks is 12 of 15 passing for Lynchburg and even 100 yards. Their rushing game has been basically obliterated. 6 carries for minus 22 yards. Jenks to throw, coming near side, Sims, who snuck around the first prospective tackler, Armani Atote, but then gets gang tackled at around the 28.
Yeah, Sims has been the safety valve for Jenks all afternoon so far in this first half.
Officially a 3-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 7 with under 7 minutes to play until halftime. Newman lined up to the right of Jenks. 3 receivers far side, 1 to the near. Jenks under pressure by Landry Adeyemi. Now throwing on the run with Atote providing the pressure. And that is incomplete on the far side to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, Adeyemi with great pursuit. That's been a common theme here this afternoon with a bunch of different Wagner defenders. That time Adeyemi out of hometown Staten Island giving Jenks trouble, and Jenks has just been throwing on the run all afternoon with 6:33 left.
There's a little bit of jawing on that far side of the field. Looked like Nelson Tensley for Lynchburg getting into it with Adeyemi. 3rd and 7. Jenks finds Sims on the run, trying to get around Justin Smith. And he's got 1st down yardage out to the 40. Lynchburg now 5 of 7 on 3rd down conversions.
Jenks 14 out of 18. Over 100 yards.
Lynchburg all of last season was 9 of 46 on 3rd downs. They've converted 5 times here on opening day. 1st and 10. Pass again to the far side, and slipping a couple of tacklers before he stepped out of bounds is Ricari Daly. Gain of 8 to the 48.
The 3rd catch of the day for Daly picks up the 1st down.
Sims with 8 grabs for 70 yards. Daly's got 3 for 36. Second and 2 with 5.5 to play here in the second quarter. Jenks on the run. Grabbed by Franklin Sims, and there's going to be a flag for a hit out of bounds on the QB. That's going to add 15 yards and take it well inside Seahawk territory. Bit of an undisciplined play. Personal foul on Sims, who will come out now, replaced by Cameron Darmody, the senior from Las Vegas. Logan Barnes coming out as well.
It'll be 1st and 10, Dragons from the Seahawk 34.
So, Jeff, even with a scoreboard lopsided in favor of Wagner, some of these plays are not what you want to see going forward.
Yeah, Jenks and the Lynchburg offense getting some momentum last couple of possessions. Good field position here.
Daly in motion. It's a handoff inside to Newman with flags flying from the near side. Newman gets it to just outside the 30, but it looks like it's coming back. Might have been a procedure on the Dragons here. We'll wait for the official notification. Head linesman threw the flag from the near side. And it is an illegal shift on Lynchburg.
Legal shift is the call against Lynchburg, a 5-yard walk-off.
No, that's their 4th penalty. Wagner's been flagged 7 times already. 5-yard walk-off sets up 1st and 15. Clock winds with 4:40 to play, 2nd quarter. In the flat for Newman, overthrew him. Janasa Boone with the defensive pressure on that far sideline.
Yeah, he hurried Jenks and way over the head of Jacob Newman.
And even if Newman had caught it, Boone was right there. Make it 2nd and 15, 4:32 to go. 2nd quarter. Total offensive yards, 287 Wagner, 104 for Lynchburg.
Sorry.
Jenks coming near side. He's got Sims again, and Sims slips a couple of tacklers. He's in the flat. Finally, hogtied and dragged out of bounds by Jordan Johnson, but not before another big gainer.
9th catch of the day for Sims. Jenks to Sims on that connection. And the sophomore out of Miami, Florida, really showing the skills there on the right sideline.
22-yard pickup sets up 1st and goal from the 8. Or they call it the 7, beg your pardon.
9 for 102 now for Sims. 9 catches.
Jenks looking far side. Good defensive play by Christian Davis to break that one up.
Tell you, Jenks can get some zip on the ball. 6 foot 200 freshman out of Centralville, Virginia, throwing across the field there.
Looked like Daly, the intended receiver on that far side. No, 2nd and goal from the 7.
Wagner would like to get a stop here. Forget about the scoreboard and just keep making improvements play by play here in week 1.
Well, you want to develop good habits, if anything. Handoff faked. Pressure by Liverpool. Jenks shakes him off, and it's picked off by Davis. Christian Davis right around the goal line. Still going. No, they say he stepped out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, a little shovel attempt there by Jenks. Davis all over it.
And the redshirt senior from Piscataway, New Jersey, who did not have an interception last year, comes up with Wagner's first pick of the season.
Exactly what Wagner wanted there. Lynchburg in great position in the red zone. Big stop, big pick.
Wagner had 10 interceptions last year, including a pair of pick sixes.
Lynchburg was just 6 of 9 in the red zone last year.
Jake Cady back out for his third series. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes. Handoff here for Kamau, who's wide open and wasn't even touched until he got into first down yardage at the 25. He takes it to the 27. Gain of 12. Near side receiver, the newcomer Malik Cooper. Out of Independence Community College in Kansas. Played his first 2 seasons with Temple, including 1 game against Wagner. Here's Kamau, far side. And again, pretty good gainer out to around the 33.
Well, he has really added some energy, Mark. Sekou Kamau making the most of his start here this afternoon.
Marked him out at the 32. Officially a 5-yard pickup for 2nd and 5.
72 yards rushing for Kamau in this first half.
Three receivers far side for Wagner as Cady takes the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Cady has first down yardage before he is horse collar tackled. But he does pick up the first down. No flag on that play. That was a very dangerous looking tackle from behind. And we're at the brand new for 2024 2-minute warning. 32-7 the Wagner lead. They'll have 1st and 10 from their own 39 when we come back on NEC Front Row. I'm Mark, he's Jeff, and I think I can speak for both of us when I say we are eternally grateful you're spending part of your Saturday with us. Opening day of the 2024 Wagner College football season, and the Seahawks have been in complete control since the opening kickoff. They lead 32-7 at the 2-minute warning. First half, Cady under duress, shakes off a couple of tacklers, and now he's taken down at around the 43. As he was knocked down by Quentin Pope.
Wagner going with that 1-2 punch at quarterback with Maisel the junior and Cady, the graduate transfer.
They've got a kid waiting in the wings. They've got a freshman from San Diego, Jack Stevens. Might have the best arm of all the quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah, nice throws the other day in practice, Mark. We watched Stevens.
Whistle blows. Timeout, Lynchburg, with 1:20 left in the half. We'll keep it here. Run down some stats for you. Jenks of the Lynchburg Dragons, 16 of 23, 155 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Maisel and Katie have combined to go 8 of 14 for Wagner, 204 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sekou Kamau, 72 of the Seahawks, 111 rushing yards. Ricky Spruill's got 37. Katie has 11 yards. Jalen Benelli, leading receiver, 4 catches for 106. While Ryan Sims is the leading receiver for the Dragons, 9 catches for 102. Off the timeout, it's Katie and Kamau in the Seahawk backfield. 2nd and 6. 3 receivers in green to the near side. 1 on the far. Katie back to pass. He's looking far side. And couldn't connect with Malik Cooper. So it brings up 3rd down. Cooper, redshirt junior, transfer most recently from Independence Community College, as we mentioned. 21 and 22, he was on the Temple Owls, and he played against these Wagner Seahawks. In fact, I think his first collegiate catch was against the Wagner defense, who he now goes up against in practice every day. It's Cooper and Burrell on the near side for Wagner. 3rd and 6. Katie looking to find Kamau in the flat, and it was too far to his right. Threw it behind him. That'll bring up a 4th and 6. And we'll see Josh Brown back to punt for the first time this season. Of course, Brown was the incumbent going into last year, but essentially supplanted by the Aussie freshman Bailey Marzola. Marzola, the backup this year. Good punt.
Good looking punt, Mark. Inside the 5.
But Christian Davis couldn't down it inside the 5. So it's a 57-yard launch from Josh, but it's a net 37 with 1:02 to go until halftime.
Only got 5 punts last year. His long was 48. Marzola, his long was 60, though. Really nice punt there by Joshua Brown.
Well, that'll happen with the wind at your back a bit.
37 yards, 57 total. It'll be 1st and 10, Dragons from their own 20.
Still Jenks at quarterback. Wagner wants to come up with a stop here in the final 62 seconds of the half. Jenks back. Liverpool with the pressure. Now Justice as well, and it's overthrown far sideline. Sam Martin and Christian Davis on the coverage. There's a flag down at the 10-yard line, usually in the area of holding. And it's a block infraction. So that will back up the Dragons with now 56.3 left in the half.
Jenks has been throwing on the run throughout this first half. This great pursuit by the Wagner defense from the start.
10-yard penalty makes it 1st and 20 for Lynchburg.
Holding is the call against Lynchburg.
So after the block in the back, Lynchburg ball at their own 10. Gadsden blows that play up. Nick Gadsden, the senior from the Bronx.
Gadsden makes the stop for Wagner.
It's another loss Sets up a 2nd and 25.
Great quickness by Gatson. 6'2", 225, and showing the speed.
Lynchburg has 1 timeout left. The Seahawks have 2, but neither side thinking about using it. Play clock at 10. It's about an 8-second difference. So Lynchburg will have to get 1 more play off at least. Inside handoff. That's Newman. Gets it out in front of the 5-yard line, and that'll be the final play of our opening half. First 30 minutes of 2024 dominated by the Wagner Seahawks, who last year averaged a little better than 17 points a game. They put up 32 in the first half and lead the Lynchburg Dragons, Jeff, 32-7.
Yeah, all Wagner in that first half, Mark. Just a great start to the game. Great field position, scored on every possession. They got a safety, big pick by Christian Davis, stopping a Lynchburg drive. And Matthew Jenks, the quarterback for Lynchburg, has thrown well in that first half, but every time out of the snap, he's been on the run. And that's just a reason for that, just a great pursuit by the Wagner defense. So the veterans, the Wagner defense stepping up, holding Lynchburg to 7 points in that first half. And offensively, you can't ask for better than that. They've scored on every possession to take a 32-7 lead into halftime. Got to look at both of their quarterbacks and gone deep a little bit in the receivers. And great job by Sekou Kamau as well. He's had an outstanding first half. So that 1-2 punch that was so effective last year in the backfield, Sproul and Zachary Palmer-Smith may have a new name this year with Kamau joining Sproul and just really adding great energy to the Wagner offense.
Seahawks as a team average 302 yards per game. They are already at 315 through 1 half. And we've got more coming up on NEC Front Row.
Garner for NECFrontRow.com here to bring you the first edition of the NEC 9 for the 2024-2025 season. Kicking things off at number 9. LIU's Stefan and GK takes the pass from Papa So and scores in LIU's 2-1 win over Stony Brook.
So looking for GK. GK gets it in front of him, looks to the net, and he scores!
Number 8. FDU's Elena Svetkovic times her jump perfectly and flicks the free kick off the post and into the net against Navy.
It's flicked on and in!
Number 7. Mercyhurst Annalise Black goes over the Duquesne wall on the free kick and scores for the Lakers' second goal of the game.
She goes for goal. And almost a save there for Neundorfer, goes off the post and in. And Mercyhurst will get their second on the day.
Number 6. Stonehill hosting Navy early in the first half. Stonehill goalkeeper Kyle Tenza makes a huge save on this redirection to keep things scoreless early in the match.
Charlie Creel out of Sparta Park, Maryland. Centering pass in the middle and a great save out of Tenza. An early test 2 minutes into the game.
Coming in at number 5. St. Francis U's Yashi Shell beats 2 St. Bonaventure defenders, crashing the net and heading it in for his second goal of the match in a 3-0 win for the Red Flash.
Not attack. There's got to be pressure that has to start soon. They should shove off the ball here. Mendez crosses. Header on the backside, goal.
Number 4. Wagner Sam Hughes makes one save, then has to come across and make a diving stop, keeping things scoreless against Ryder.
From the near side, makes a cut. Ferry trying to center. Hughes turns it aside. From well outside, back towards the cage. Punched away. Excellent work inside the cage.
Number 3. The Duquesne keeper comes out to play the ball around midfield, and Mercyhurst Rosie Bandura steps up to fire a shot into the net from 50 yards out.
This shot will go.
Oh, wow.
And that will be an out-of-net goal there for the Mercyhurst Lakers. First goal in Division I for Mercyhurst.
Coming in at number 2. Tied at 1 on the road at Niagara, St. Francis U's Emma Sawich times this save perfectly as she gets a hand on the ball, and then it deflects off the crossbar, keeping the game tied.
Good move. Now the left-footed effort off the bar after the touch. As Sawick got enough of it.
And now for our top play. St. Francis U's Nicholas Becker makes a diving save at point-blank range on the St. Bonaventure header to keep the Bonnies off the board in a 3-0 win.
Service. Akuzaku, what a save! Nicholas Becker.
For NECFrontRow.com, I'm Kyle Turner, and I'll be back next week with another edition of the NEC 9.
A single thread is unique. Like each of us, full of purpose and potential. A strand designed to connect, strengthen, and unite. But we face different challenges and have different opportunities. By acknowledging that others may
Jeff Leniart. It is all Wagner Seahawks on opening day, leading Lynchburg 32-7. Jeff, 3 other NEC teams are in action today. St. Francis of Pennsylvania visiting Dayton. And the Red Flash trailing early third quarter 15-3. LIU will play up in Albany tonight against the Great Danes, and Robert Morris back in the league. That'll be our next home game, September 21st. Colonials are on the road tonight at Utah State. Central Connecticut opened up Thursday night, getting blown out at Central Michigan 66-10. Duquesne, the defending NEC champions, number 1 in the preseason poll, they lost at Toledo 49-10. Red Flash preseason number 2, Colonials preseason number 3, LIU 4, Stonehill 5, Wagner 6, which is where they finished last year. And Central Connecticut bringing up the rear in what is now a 7-team league. Mercyhurst, newest member of the NEC, is not playing a full conference schedule this year, so they are still in their probationary period and will not be listed in the NEC standings. But this is about as good a start as you can hope for the Seahawks, as they scored on every possession in the first half except their last one. But 3 touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety, and a 32-7 lead as we get set to start quarter number 3.
Yeah, 32-7 lead, Mark, and as you mentioned, except for the last punt before that half ended, all Wagner scoring on all the possessions prior to that, and a great punt, by the way, for Wagner on that one, and they will kick off to Lynchburg in that first half. A lot of stars in that first half for Wagner. Sekou Kamau with 72 yards rushing. And we'll go over the list of some of the great things that Wagner done. Really not much to talk about on the negative side other than maybe the 7 penalties that Coach Masella will not be too happy about. We can start for the second half. And Lisner will kick it off. Lynchburg receiving. And that'll go into the end zone for the touchback. And we'll see if Matthew Jenks, who had a pretty good first half, although on the run a lot in that first half, if Jenks stays in, he was 9 for 102 yards. A long of 32, but great pressure by the Wagner defense in that first half. All started with a Sam Martin 38-yard kick return. And then a Maisel to Didio long pass connection of 47 yards, and then Ricky Spruill started things off. So 1st and 10 for Lynchburg at their own 25. And the pitch right side, pursued again by Wagner. And it's going to be about a 3-yard loss, and the Wagner defense, they're the veterans, 10 key returners. We'll see plenty of action this year, along with Zachary Rickey and Logan Barnes, 2 sophomores.
And that was the newcomer Jordan Johnson who made the stop on Newman.
Johnson out of Detroit, 6'3", 225.
Teammate of Malik Cooper at Independence Community College in Kansas.
Out of the shotgun. Pass over the head of intended receiver Jacob Newman. Newman, son of the coach, Tim Newman.
Zach Rickey was closest on defense, looking to make it his 2nd pick 6 of his career.
Yeah, Ricky had that outstanding pick 6 against Stonehill, Mark, where Seahawks fell behind and came back to win right here at Hamline Field. 3rd and 12. All Wagner so far.
Probably a false start.
False start.
My first look was to the play clock. It still had 9 seconds left.
3rd and 12 here, just 52 seconds in. So we'll push Lynchburg back.
They were 5 of 7 converting third downs in the first half, but this walk-off makes it exponentially more difficult. 3rd and 17 now.
Yep, they could not get the run game going. 9 for 22 on the run game, which creates problems. And it was all that Wagner pressure and pursuit. Jenks was on the run, though he threw well.
That's a minus 22 you're looking at.
Minus 22, beg your pardon. 3rd and 17, throw behind and flag down. Oh.
Yeah, Riley Dravette is going to get called for interference. He was beaten on the touchdown pass. Got into a little bit of a wrestling match with the intended receiver.
That ball was underthrown, so that's going to be the 8th penalty for
No, they're
Wagner.
calling offsetting, I think. It's going to go 1 each on Micah Gant and Riley Dravette.
Pass interference, Wagner holding against Lynchburg, the offsetting.
Okay, so it wasn't offensive, or it wasn't offsetting interference calls. There was a hold on the offensive line and the Dravette interference. So they offset either way, and it'll bring up a replay on 3rd and 17.
Mark it at the 18-yard line. Matthew Jenks, 16 of 23 in that first half, 155 yards, long of 32. Got a 3rd and long here. Looking, sideline, and pressure coming down with the sack. Wagner D. Big play there by
It's Jamal Barnes, the Monmouth transfer from right here on Staten Island, comes up with the first of his Seahawks career. Younger brother of Quincy Guy Barnes.
the 6'1", 300-pound defensive lineman. The Monmouth transfer. Fell from his own end zone. Punting situation for Pettit. 2 minutes in, and that one is partially blocked. Bouncing around the 45-yard line. Mark it around the 45-yard line, and Wagner once again will have great field position.
It was shanked, and I don't know if he booted it off his own blocker's back. But he got a very fortunate roll, and now there's a Lynchburg Dragon hobbling off the field with the aid of a couple of teammates.
Yeah, it's going to be great field position for Wagner, Mark, but you're right. It could have been a disaster based on the way it came off his foot. Katie back at quarterback. Handoff, Sproul, 40, 35, and pulling his way inside the 30-yard line.
15-yard pickup for Sproul. He's up to 52 yards. And just to finish the thought on the defense, that's 3 sacks now for Wagner. They had 13 all of last season.
Sproul, the senior out of Notre Dame High School. 1st and 10 from the Lynchburg 31. Back to Sproul, 30, 25. Pulling his way for more to about the 22-yard line. Ricky Sproul using all that 5'10", 205-pound muscle.
I don't know if he took dance lessons in the offseason, but some nice footwork from Ricky.
The Say, I don't know if Wagner's missed a beat on the 1-2 punch in the backfield, Mark, with Sekou Kamau having an outstanding first half and Sproul doing what Ricky does. Jake Katie's look cool there out of the shotgun. Couple of touchdown passes. Drop back, step, looking. Pocket collapses. He's going to run and brought down around the 17-yard line. Flag on the play.
Couple of flags are down around the 15-yard line.
Brooks lost a helmet, so Izante Brooks will have to go off the field.
It's a Wagner team that last year averaged 135 rushing yards a game. They're, at the moment, sitting at 134, and we're only about 3.5 minutes into the third quarter.
And conversely, Lynchburg has given up an average of 231 last year. And Wagner, just a huge advantage, size, weight-wise, on that front line against the Lynchburg defense. Wagner goes 320, 300, 340, 290, 295, respectively, weight-wise. No one near that in the front line for Lynchburg. Second yard to go. 11:26, third quarter. Wagner up 32-7.
From the reaction of the Seahawks, they think it's going to go against them. Officials still trying to sort it out.
Jake Katie, 6'3", 200 pounds.
And we finally have a resolution. A personal foul on the Seahawks.
Katie was 3 of 7 for 69 yards, 2 touchdown passes that first half. Mazel had a touchdown pass, was 5 of 9 for 135.
And it will be an automatic first down for the Dragons.
So
trying to find out who that penalty was on. And it goes on Prince Gaitan.
Going to mark it at the 33-yard line.
So Gaitan called for the personal foul. Sets up a 2nd and 12.
Cooper, the lone receiver, left. McDonald, he got trips right. Katie out of the shotgun. Kamau's back there with him. Steps, throws, across the middle, has a man. Touchdown! Katie on the connection to Terry McDonald. 33-yard touchdown connection from Jake Katie to Terry McDonald. And Wagner has a 38-7 advantage.
McDonald, the sophomore from Montreal, his first career TD catch. And he split the defense on the post route. Katie found him in full stride, and it was an easy waltz into the house.
Ryan Lisner with the extra point. The hold kick is up, and it's good. So Wagner jumps out to a 39-7 lead at the 11-11 mark.
Flags are down. We'll see how they sort this out. I see 3 hankies inside the 5-yard line. Point good. Unsportsmanlike conduct whistled against Lynchburg.
7 penalties for Wagner overall, now to 6 penalties for Lynchburg. The Dragons
Kendrell Middleton, one of the linemen, whistled for the personal foul by the Dragons. Remember the relatively new rules. 2 personal fouls and you're ejected from the game.
Lisner will kick off from the 50-yard line.
See, this is one of the rules I'd like to see tweaked. If you have an infraction like that on a dead ball or an extra point like we had, the team that got fouled should have the option of enforcing it after the ensuing kickoff.
That makes sense.
What's the point of kicking from the 50? Most of the time it goes in the end zone anyway from the 35.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here as Lisner is there.
Yeah, to me that just doesn't make any sense. You're not really rewarding the kicking team.
So the Dragons will take over. Down 39-7. Both quarterbacks looking really good so far, Mark, and Jake Cady looking as comfortable as you can be in your debut.
4
your
for
new
8.
team.
3 touchdowns out of his 4 completions, 101 yards.
Man in motion, 1st and 10, 25. Rolling out, new quarterback, well covered there. They got the completion.
It's Raheem Vance calling the signals now as he finds Daly in the near flat. It's a pretty good catch for Vance. I beg your pardon, a good catch for Daly as that throw was behind him.
Raheem Vance, 6'2", 210, so he's the freshman quarterback up there now for Lynchburg. And a 1st and 10. We'll check that, 2nd and 7. Vance under pressure.
Landry Adeyemi.
Adeyemi, Staten Island native, had 12 tackles, 2 sacks last year.
And Colton Guerrero got in, too, the transfer from Grossmont College out of El Cajon, California. Sophomore, backup linebacker.
Defensive coordinator Derek Getchell has to be very happy with this Wagner defense. And high expectations coming in, Mark. A lot of returners with experience. 2 sophomores who were outstanding, so high expectations for the D. And look at this pressure. They'll knock Lynchburg back, ball down inside the 5.
Screen pass to Hairston, snuffed out by Brandon Coleman.
Coldclaw standing at the Lynch. Boy, this punt is way short. And at the 33, going to be where Wagner will take over. 9:02 remaining. Third quarter, it's Wagner 39, Lynchburg 7 on NEC Front Row.
What starts at Wagner?
Pursuing my dreams.
Getting to do what I love.
Lifelong friendships. The ability to thrive.
You'll be part of a supportive community that will help you find your path while exploring all that New York City has to offer.
What starts at Wagner?
Jack Stevens in at quarterback.
Saw a lot of him at practice the other day. Looked like he was throwing the ball very well.
Handed off to Julio Tatis.
Jack Stevens, 6 foot 190, freshman out of San Diego, California.
And Tatis, a freshman from Parsippany, New Jersey, with the first carry of his career. Well, we were given fair warning that this might happen, that the Seahawks might go to the 3rd string if things got out of hand. 32-point lead, middle of the third quarter, I suppose constitutes out of hand.
And nice second look there. Great run. Going to bowl his way. Julio Tatis. That'll move the chains.
Couple of carries for Tatis.
So 1st and 10 for Wagner. Right on the 20 with Stevens, the new quarterback. Tatis, the running back. Tatis. Christian Tate, deep left side. Here's Stevens, looks. Ball bobbled and caught. Nice catch, nice gathering there. Derek Burrell out of Islip, New York.
Tip drill for the young man from East Islip, Long Island.
They'll mark it at the 18.
6-foot junior.
Burrell and Tate lined up on that left side. .6:55 left, third quarter. A 2nd and 8 for Wagner. Their third quarterback of the game, and Jack Stevens. First two have done an outstanding job for the Seahawks so far. Stevens, draw. Nice pickup. Tatis, 5'10", 180. Jeremy Coleclaw checking back in. Oh, 3rd and 6 for Stevens. Chance to go 3 deep now, not just 2 deep in this game, with a 39-7 cushion for Wagner. Just trying to improve, trying to get some folks some reps. Across the middle, nice catch. Inside the 5-yard line for another first down, and Stevens with some zip on the ball hits Burrell for his 2nd catch here on this drive.
Jeff Burrell had a defender draped all over him, somehow still made the catch and almost took it home.
He's shown some agility, some good hand skills. The previous play was a little overthrown. He was able to gather it in and catch it, and you said, Mark, there, he was well covered. 1st and goal for Wagner at the 2-yard line.
Stevens now 3 for 3.
With Tatis in the backfield. Straight back. Tatis straight up the middle, pulling his way. The Wagner Seahawks on the board again. Julio Tatis. 45-7.
Like a hot knife through butter, the Wagner offense against the Lynchburg defense. Six touchdowns now on the day.
As Wagner goes deeper into their depth chart, Lynchburg still with no answer. Borner will have the extra point. Will hold the kick. And it's good. So Drew Borner out of Warwick, New York gets the extra point. And 5:13 remaining third quarter. Wagner in command, 46-7 over Lynchburg on NEC Front Row.
The Sharks are your inaugural Northeast Conference Volleyball Champions.
It's a day for the Knights as FDU wins it.
Merrimack Warriors are your 2023 men's basketball champions.
Lofted far down the left field line. It is gone. A 3-run homer.
Chambers inlaid 5 runs away with it. The Sacred Heart Pioneers are Northeast Conference women's basketball champions.
We are excited beyond belief to welcome the Lemoyne Dolphins into the NEC family.
And Jeff Lanyard off that last touchdown drive. Wagner has now passed 400 yards of total offense.
And 3 quarterbacks getting the job done. Damian Maisel started, Jake Cady. And now Jack Stevens. Lisner will kick off. It was Borner who got the extra point. Wagner with the 46-7 lead. Been all Wagner here in this home opener. The final day in August. After this, it'll be 4 games out of 5 on the road for Wagner.
Next
at
week.
Lehigh, at Delaware State the next 2 weeks before homecoming on September 21st.
And a welcome back to the NEC for Robert Morris.
4 o'clock kickoff here at Hemline Field on Saturday the 21st.
Seahawks in their final game last season against Division II Post put up 48 points. That was their season high. They're at 46 right now with still over 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And Coach Massell and the staff, Mark, will hope that this is a catalyst for them to score early, which was, as you mentioned earlier, a big challenge until that last game of the season. Wagner could not get points on the board in the first quarter. And they got on early and often here this afternoon.
Most they scored 2 years ago was 38 against LIU.
Lesnar with the kick. And this one will bounce into the end zone, so another touchback. Raheem Vance, the second quarterback of the afternoon for Lynchburg. The Dragons. Really, other than the penalties, Mark, Wagner has to be very pleased with what they've seen so far. Quarterback depth. Benelli not only has he not missed a beat, but I think he stepped up his game. The NEC Rookie of the Year. The running backs, the 1-2 tandem, doing an outstanding job. And now we'll get a chance to see a little bit deeper in the roster.
Well, again, this is a good confidence builder. You don't want to make too much of it going up against a Division III school. But the key in a game like this, build good habits.
Exactly.
And there's been very little that anyone would have to complain about.
Any worries about a letdown, which I'm sure the Wagner team just so excited to play their first game, but no signs of taking Lynchburg lightly, and they've had their way with the Dragons since the opening kick. Vance, blown back with left side. Great pursuit by Wagner. Barely to the 29-yard line.
Ethan McNair, 34 in green, overplayed it a bit. He had a chance to make it a negative play.
Great backup, though, by his teammates. Just well pursued. All green shirts all around. And from the 29-yard line, 3rd and 6 for Raheem Vance. 3 out of 3 in the air for Vance. On back left side. Rolling right. Looking. Goes across the field. Nothing there. Closest was the Wagner player.
Abdul Idris.
Idris out of Brooklyn, New York.
So I mentioned the 48 against Post last year. That was the most points Wagner has scored in a game since November of 2018, when they put up 52 in a win at Bryant, back when the Bulldogs were still part of the Northeast Conference.
Jeremy Colclaw standing at his own 42. That kick almost blocked. Wobbly kick, Coleclaw, fair catch. Just inside the 45.
Brendan Leal very close to getting a hand on it. And he was flat on his back in frustration after coming up empty.
1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Jack Stevens back out for Wagner. Stevens 2 for 2. In the air.
Jack out of Cathedral Catholic High School in San Diego. Had a kid on the Boulders, Garrett Frechette. Played at the same school, a few years ahead of Jack.
Shotgun. They're going to go handoff and to the 46-yard line. A Lynchburg player loses his helmet.
Matt Morad gets his first carry.
Morad out of Washington Township, New Jersey. 5'10", 185.
See, the question has to be asked, which Washington Township, New Jersey? Because there's one in Bergen County, and then there might be two others in the state, one in South Jersey and one Northwest. And he went to Pope Paul XI High School. That's not in Bergen County.
Yeah, since he's out of Paul, there's hard hit by the Lynchburg defense. That was Morad again. Well, it's going to be 3rd and 7 for Wagner. Hazel was 5 out of 9 with a touchdown. Katie was 4 out of 8 with 3 touchdowns. And Stevens 2 for 2 in the air so far.
Yeah, so I've confirmed Morad is from down South Jersey, the Haddonfield area near Atlantic City.
I think that might be Mercer County, I believe. 3rd and 7. Handoff. Morad again. Nice move. Cut through the middle across the 40. And to about the 36-yard line. Matt Morad with a nice move. Cut left, cut back to the middle, and picks up the first down. And that should do it for this 3rd quarter. Final seconds. And that indeed will do it. End of the 3rd quarter. It's Wagner 46, Lynchburg 7 on NEC Front Row.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say, Olympians are made here.
Back at Hamline Field on the campus of Wagner College on Staten Island. Jeff Lenniart alongside my partner Mark Renee. So glad you could join us. And it's been all Wagner so far as we get set to start the 4th quarter. Seahawks up 46-7 over Division III Lynchburg. Seahawks with their 3rd quarterback of the day in Jack Stevens. Eamon Nazel, Jake Cady throwing for a combined 4 touchdown passes.
And the Seahawks go to their 4th QB of the day. It's the senior out of Norwalk, Connecticut, Tommy Brown.
Tommy Brown, the senior, 6 foot 190. And right side, that is number 27, David Lonergan, the junior out of Ipswich, Massachusetts. He's 5'9", 200. Tommy Brown in at quarterback for Wagner.
Jeff Yamache and Alex Rodriguez, not that A-Rod, on the far side receiving. Christian Valeriano on the near side.
Up the middle. And Lonergan is a junior.
Close to first down yardage. And they will give it to him.
Other than penalties, what would you see, Mark, that Wagner needs to think about this week, looking ahead to Lehigh next week?
Well, you know, you want to do a little better on third down defensive efficiency. They gave up 5 first downs the first 7 conversions. And lost, especially Sims in the early going, the receiver for Lynchburg. They had trouble covering him. But really, other than that, not a whole lot to complain about.
1st and 10. Brown. Oh, nice pursuit there. Lynchburg. Another third time this half. A Lynchburg player has lost a helmet.
Kendrick Cox. And he's going to get called for a penalty.
Kendrick Cox, grad student out of Sylvania, Georgia. That's not what you want if you're Lynchburg. They're going to have their takeaways here, of course, coming in on the road against a Division I Wagner team. Wagner's been there years ago, made that transition.
Well, this is a definite step up in competition. They played last year Carson Newman, Presbyterian. They did play Merrimack and Robert Morris, and those 2 games, mid and late September, lost by a combined 90-0. Also played at Delaware State, South Carolina State, the 2 wins over Fort Lauderdale and Lane. Then Fort Valley State, Edward Waters, and Kennesaw State. They've only won 6 games. I beg your pardon, 4 games the last 3 seasons. A record of 4-28.
1st and 10. Back to Lonergan. Straight up the middle. Picks up about 4. So going to Lonergan now a couple times in a row.
But again, Jeff, Wagner knows those struggles, right? 5-30 under Tom Masella his first 4 seasons. And that includes the 4 victories a year ago.
This is not basketball. It can take a while to get the momentum going.
Well, the thing with Tom coming back to his alma mater, he needed to change the culture and develop better habits from top to bottom. You know, not just the full roster, but also in the coaching staff. And I think he's got things the way he wants them now. Stephen Matos is in his 2nd year as offensive coordinator. Derek Getchell got promoted. He is the new DC this year.
2nd and 7. And we've got flag.
Jim Munson back as the special teams coach. A.J. McGee went from the defensive side to the offensive. He's working with the tight ends and as an offensive quality control. Quincy Guy Barnes still on the staff as a quarterback assistant. Joe Zaluzniak, the new wide receivers coach. Talir Satterfield-Rowe, the running backs coach. On the defensive side, mentioned Getchell and Munson. George Gasper working with the D-line and special teams. Kyle Flood, son of the former Rutgers head coach.
Back to Lonergan, and he's nailed in the backfield and a flag as well. He got nailed for a loss, but a flag. Another lost helmet for Lynchburg. I've never seen so many players losing a helmet in one half.
Flood in charge of the safeties and quality control. Mark Collins, no relation to the former Giant. Defensive quality control, the new director of football operations officially, T.J. Masella, son of the head coach. So, a tweaking of the coaching staff. And so far, everything working like a charm for the Seahawks with 5:40 to go. They have been in control throughout.
Their home opener.
Season opener.
And season opener.
Don't forget that.
The home fans enjoying a game where it's been all Wagner. It's down to 78 next Saturday against Lehigh. Lonergan, the lone back. Oh, no, check that. It's going to be Morad this back in. Lonergan had about 4 runs in a row. Morad, he's hit right away. Matt Morad.
One of the few highlight plays today for the Lynchburg defense.
Under 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Fourth quarterback for Wagner, Tommy Brown. Morad lines up left side of the backfield. A couple of men in motion.
Kahano on the field on offense for the first time.
Brown, too short. Left flat there for Morad. Clock running. Even on the incompletion, this 46-7 game.
Jeff, I'll tell you what, if Cox doesn't get a hand on that, Morad probably waltzes into the end zone. I know I'm overdoing it with the dance references today, but I'll get my entire quota for the season in this afternoon, and when we come back on September 21 against Robert Morris, I'll be done with those.
That's a 4 o'clock kickoff on the 21st. Homecoming here at Hamline Field. Lehigh next week, and then Delaware State next 2 weeks for the Seahawks. A delay of game. Wagner just eating some clock here. 4:12 left, 46-7.
Well, and that's now, by my count, the 3rd delay of game. So that's, again, something that, we talked big picture about the penalty situation. Wagner whistled now for 10 on the day.
And when you start going deeper into the chart, a lot more chance for miscommunication in fourth quarterback. As Morad brought down.
A combination of Morad losing his footing and Cox reading the play well.
Mark it at the 21-yard line.
So Borner will try a field goal. He had the last extra point out of the hold of Josh Brown here.
Drew Borner was 3 for 3 on extra points last year. But here a field goal situation.
Officially 38 yards.
At the 3-minute mark, the hold, the kick, it is up. And it's no good. So Borner.
A little bit short.
Comes up short. Lynchburg will have it back. And one more chance to see if they can have something to build off for next week. The Wagner will be in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania next Saturday for their first road game against Lehigh.
Atlantic University Owls will be hosting a special alumni.
Back at Hamline Field on the campus of Wagner College. Wagner with a 46-7 lead. Final 2 minutes. And Lynchburg has the football 3rd and 3 from their own 27-yard line. Raheem Vance Looks far sideline, has a man and a first down. Nice grab there by Ricari Daly.
Hairston with that nice grab.
Oh, check that. It was Hairston.
Full stretch. And again, it was McNair in coverage with the shove out of bounds.
Hairston 6'3". That's caught. Trying to get some room, but nothing there. Good pursuit in the secondary by Wagner. Well played. Ethan McNair.
Harness got laid out.
Check that.
Not sure who it is because we've only got 133 on the roster for the Seahawks. William Stevenson, but I don't think that was him.
90 seconds. Vance sprawled out of bounds at midfield. They will stop the clock there. They haven't a couple of times.
Now, much as we would love to give that Seahawk defender kudos for maybe the biggest hit of the game by a Wagner Seahawk, we have no idea who it is. So my apologies.
$1:15 left. Vance.
So
pocket
apparently
collapses, throws it. Nobody there, sideline.
Jeff, apparently it was Stevenson, listed as a running back, playing on the defensive side. So there we go. Hey, William Stevenson. Good one on you. Sophomore out of Durham, North Carolina.
He used all 220 on that hit. Stevenson goes 6 foot, 220 pounds, a sophomore. Final 67 seconds here, and a 2nd and 10 for Lynchburg. One score in this game for the Dragons. Under pressure, been the story all afternoon, the Wagner defense.
Nice looking pursuit by Idris. He had a chance to take Vance down for a loss. Didn't give up on the play and eventually did run him down near midfield.
They had Jenks on the run throughout the whole first half, and Vance, who's playing here in the fourth quarter, feeling the pressure. Pocket collapses again, throws, knocked away.
Janasa Boone.
Yep, Boone, the senior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, got a hand on it. Well covered.
Broke up 2 passes a year ago.
And the defense with high expectations coming into the season. You mentioned Division III team, but got to do your job, right? Still play the game on the field. And that's the beauty of sports, right? You see some upsets or close games when it shouldn't be, but not the case today. Wagner in command from the opening kickoff.
You know, Jeff, they say sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Today, Wagner was the windshield.
Newman.
Stevenson and Donovan Dillingham teaming up for the shove out of bounds.
They're letting the clock run out, so may not. Well, now they're going to stop it. They were letting it run.
Well, it changes on the possession because that was 4th down. So Wagner will have one final play, likely a kneel down.
Be a little bit different in this fourth quarter with the 10-minute quarter and then the clock running on a couple of incomplete passes.
Well, here's what matters.
Mercy rule, maybe.
Victory formation for the 2nd straight home game.
That's right.
And Wagner's going to make it 4 home wins in their last 6 games, dating back to last season here on Grimes Hill. Jack Stevens will get the honor.
38-yard kick return by Sam Martin started things off, and Wagner scored in 2 offensive plays from scrimmage from there.
And Wagner's going to go 1-0 to start a season for the first time in 5 years.
Big win for Wagner. They defeat Lynchburg 46-7 here in the season opener at Hamline Field.
431 total offensive yards. Damian Mazel early on 5 of 9 for 135, including that 48-yard hookup on the first play from scrimmage with Mark Didio. They also had 4 of 8 from Jake Cady for 101 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jack Stevens 2 for 2, 16 yards. Sekou Kamal ran 7 times for 72. Ricky Sproul, who started, 5 carries for 60 yards. Jalen Benelli, 4 receptions for 106 and a couple of TDs. Didio, 2 catches for 48. Terry McDonald, 2 catches for 42. And a very workmanlike effort as the Seahawks make it look easy, just as they should have. It was all Wagner. They scored on every possession in the first half except for their final, and then took their foot off the pedal in an easy cakewalk.
And you don't see, Mark, in the stats is the defensive pressure, right? The speed, the athleticism, the power of the Wagner D. All afternoon, Lynchburg quarterbacks were on the run. And they did a pretty good job considering, but just Wagner, too much to handle, in command throughout. And the result, a Wagner win in the home opener of the 2024 season. Seahawks 46 and Lynchburg 7. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Another great job by our executive producer, Chris Bagdonis. Chris, thanks so much. Great job. And for my partner, Mark Anay, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Jeff Lenniart saying good afternoon as Wagner wins 46-7 over Lynchburg here on NEC Front Row.